All right, you ready for this? Top 5 ugliest zombies maps. Listen, I know it's unoriginal. It's so 2014, but you know, I was backed up into a corner. I see that AdSense plummeting. You know, it's 2017 zombies. Ad rates are down, and if I want to buy another Ferrari this year, what else am I gonna do, right? You know, listen. I know it's unoriginal, but this is what we'll do. Okay, we'll slap on 2 ads on that bad boy, make it 10 minutes long, and everything will just fall into place. It's a controversial video. People are going to be snapping at me. It's going to be great. Yeah. So listen, I know the other thing you're thinking is, hey, you know, the whole like self-deprecating, talking in your phone, pretending like you're talking to your manager. I know it's a little unoriginal, but you know, PewDiePie still does it. Okay. I think it's funny. I think it adds a layer of realness to your content. So listen, that's what we're going to go through, and it's going to be great. Cool. Let's do it. Today, guys, we are going to be doing the top 5 most ugly zombies maps. I was playing a map not long ago, and I was just thinking, man, Treyarch, what were they thinking on some of these old maps? You know, there's a lot of beautiful zombies maps out there, but some of them are terrible. It was almost as if they were trying to make the map look bad. So we will be looking today at the top 5 worst of these ugly maps. Now, one clarification is just because a map is gray and dull doesn't necessarily make it ugly in my mind. This is going to more so be a list of maps that just look bad, right? You can have a map like Nocturne Totem, for example, which is a very gray map, but that's the point. They're going for a creepy vibe, and if it was sunshine and rainbows, it wouldn't really be Noct, would it? So just a clarification there. So coming in at our number 5 spot, guys, this is going to be Call of the Dead. Now, I have a major issue with Call of the Dead. I think everyone really shares this struggle with this map. Half of the time, Call of the Dead is beautiful, and half of the time, it just looks, well, it's fog. It is just a pile of fog. It is just, you know, fog rolling in. I don't know why they decided to make it so that the fog was a permanent thing. Now, I can kind of understand, hey, maybe, you know, before the power is turned on, let's have fog. And it would make sense that when you turn the power on, the lighthouse brightens everything up, and then there's no more fog. But the problem with that map is that sometimes there's fog, sometimes there's not, and you have absolutely no control over it. When there is no fog, you can see miles and miles, and it's beautiful. It really is a great looking map. But the problem is, as soon as that fog rolls in, it just gets gross. It gets ugly. It almost cuts the value of the map in half. So not all the time is this map ugly, but when that fog has rolled in, it's like you're playing a different map, and it is nothing near the awesomeness that is non-foggy Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead's kind of like a girl that's only hot when she's dressed up, you know? Like when it looks nice, it looks nice, but not all the time does it look nice. And when it doesn't look nice, specifically Call of the Dead, it's a bad time. And for that reason, I had to put it on at number 5. Now moving down to our number 4 pick, guys, this is going to be Kino Numa. Now this might be a questionable pick because the argument that could be made is, you know, all World at War maps, poorer graphics, you know, that old last gen stuff. You could argue they're all ugly, right? But I feel like Kino Numa is specifically and most bad of the World at War era. I already said, you know, Noct is a map that's gray and dingy, but they were going for that. Verrückt is very red and also dingy, but they were going back in those old days for a very like horror-ish theme. And Kino Numa, I feel like it was going for that, but they just didn't hit it. You know, it's swampy and it's just kind of gross. That's how I feel about Kino Numa. It's just gross. There's nothing great about it. You know, a map like Zetsbo in comparison that is also jungly, they've got a good green plant life vibe going on, right? But Kino Numa just feels dingy green. You know, everything just kind of feels moldy. It's almost like the map is covered in mold a little bit. I don't know. Kino Numa is a great map and I love it, but it's just visually, it's just not appealing whatsoever. So for that reason, I kind of had to put it on the list as well. Now, coming in at our number 3 pick, guys, this is going to be Kino. Kino or Totem. I'm probably going to get roasted in the comments for putting this on this list, but I just got to say, probably the most visually unappealing map ever. Maybe not, because there's two maps that I have on this list that are even worse, but it's bad, dude. It really is bad, you know? They were going for that World at War creepy vibe, and it just didn't work. Kino is this map that's in the middle of trying to look nice and creepy. It just failed. You know, it's a really big fail of a quality looking map. There's nothing good about this map. Have you ever, as a YouTuber, have you ever tried to make a thumbnail for Kino? It's tough because everything is gray, and not in a good way like Noct, where it's, you know, it's kind of creepy. Everything's just gray and dark and dingy, but there's no substance to it. There's nothing. It's just ugly. Everything about Kino is ugly. It's gross. I don't like it. The Nova crawlers, their farts that send out of the air, everything about that map, even the Thunder Gun, the Wonder Weapon, doesn't look very good. Listen, I love the Thunder Gun, but it's not the most visually nice looking Wonder Weapon. Everything about Kino, it just kind of sucks. It's a great map, but I don't like to look at it. Now, coming in at our number 2 position, that is second place, 1 behind first. This is going to be Transit, a map that I have ripped on many a time. And listen, I understand, okay? We all have our issues with Transit. Transit has its flaws, but it's an ugly map. Let's be honest, it's an ugly map. Fog is the number 1 reason this map is so bad looking. It just, like, fog doesn't make a good zombies map. I think they finally realized that at Treyarch, but back in the day, they weren't sure. They're like, well, does this community want fog? No, we don't want fog. Now, I'm gonna take a step back here before I really go in. I just say, you know, Transit was a map that was limited by last gen consoles. On the PS3 and Xbox 360, there wasn't a lot they could do, so they had to, you know, they wanted to make a big map, but they had to put fog in each between area because they couldn't fully texturize each area to the extent that, you know, you would texturize a normal zombies map. They just didn't have the hardware capacity. That makes sense that they had to put in fog. But even the areas in the map, I know it's supposed to be a post-apocalyptic world, and I will say, for being a post-apocalyptic world, they did an alright job. You know, the diner's got some nice bright lights, the bus depot looks fine, the town's, you know, everything looks as it should. But again, the fog just made everything so abysmal to look at. So I give Transit a pass in a minor sense for what they were trying to do on the old consoles, and that's the only reason it isn't number 1. But it's bad. It's bad. I think we all know Transit is bad. It's just bad. Now, one honorable mention I didn't want to put on this list before we get down to our number 1 spot is Die Rise. The top of Die Rise is beautiful. The bottom of Die Rise is shit. Besides the Buddha room is shit. There's like a sweatshop area on Die Rise. It's not nice. But then you get up to the rooftop, it looks good. So I don't hate Die Rise because the rooftop looks great, and that's kind of the redeeming quality. They've got a nice bright Wonder Weapon, but it's still pretty ugly for a lot of the time. But anyways, moving down to the number 1 spot. This is the ugliest map in all of zombies. It is Ascension. I have no problem, no second thoughts on saying that. Screw that map, okay? Zombies is what zombies is, right? And you know, we've had some bright maps, we've had some dingy maps. But why is there no color when you spawn in on Ascension? How does that affect the gameplay, and why is that even a thing? Playing zombies in black and white. I don't see the point in that. There's nothing to be gained from a black and white map. It's just ugly and gross and bad. But okay, well, let's just say the map never had the black and white. Even Ascension as is disgusting. It's like super undersaturated, just lacking of color, grayness. When you shoot your Mustang and Sally's, like, smoke goes up everywhere so you can't see anything. The monkey round, for some reason, they just boost the saturation. They're like, oh, monkeys come in, they go, nee. It's still gross. It's oversaturated. It's just disgusting. It's like just this mix of red and gray and orange and like really gross olive green and like pale yellow. It's just all the worst colors just thrown into a map, undersaturated, and then they oversaturate it with the monkeys, or it's black and white. You know, take your pick. Ascension is a disgusting looking map. I said it. But anyways, guys, that is our top 5 for today. Now, Ascension actually inspired me to make this top 5. I played it like last week, and I was like, dude, this is gross. But if you guys enjoyed, you know, maybe you want to go check out because you know, 2017 zombies. It's a rough time, man. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.